Okay, great. Well, thank you everybody for, I know 8 o'clock when your mom gets a little bit late and kids going to bed and schedule. So thank you for taking the time to hop on the call. I know a lot of people Emily invited and she's on the phone muted, so she won't be able to welcome you herself, but I'll welcome you on her behalf. And I'm going to actually turn it over to Jessica, who's a good friend of mine. She used to live in Franklin, but then she moved far, far away. And she's going to run most of the show, but I'll be back to tell you a little bit more about myself and my history with both Juice Plus and health in general. But for now, I'll just let Jessica take it over.
Great, thank you, Katie. And of course, I was muted both on my computer and on the screen, so I had to double unmute there. Sorry about that. So thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for making time to join our call tonight. We're going to keep it short for you. We'll keep it we'll be done by 8:30, done under 30 minutes, so you can get back to your evening. I'll introduce myself. I'm Jessica Brighton. I've worked in the hotel industry for 20 years, and I'm also a certified personal trainer, spin instructor, and group fitness instructor. I was first introduced to this whole food nutrition by my friend Marianne, who is also on the line with us tonight. And I'll say I didn't get it right away. It took a while for me to really understand what it was. And as somebody who worked in a gym as a personal trainer, Marianne can attest to this, that there's always some sort of product or supplement being sold. I've never been big on that. I've been, all about getting our nutrition from food. I thought we do everything the right way. So I didn't get it right away. And I'm going to share a little bit about my story later on. But before I do that, I'd just like to talk a little bit about whole food nutrition in general and some of the challenges that we face today with nutrition in our country and in our world in general. I think most of us understand the role that fruits and vegetables play when it comes to nutrition. We all know that they're important. We all know we need a lot of them. And I think most of us would probably admit that we just don't get enough of them. The current recommendation is 7 to 13 servings daily. And so I know that even on my best days, that's really hard to do. It's also really hard to get the variety that we need. We need that whole rainbow variety of fruits and vegetables. Each of the different colors brings different nutrients for us. So it's really hard to get that rainbow.
Looks like Jess is frozen a bit. Does everybody see that? So we'll just give it a second and see if she comes back to life. But just in the meantime, I'll just jump in now and share my story. And Jess, if you might have to cancel out and dial back in. Oh, there you are. Here she is. You were stuck. Oh, but she's stuck again. So she just must be having some internet problems. So we'll give her, there's KT. She might have just jumped out and then, okay. So while we're waiting for Jess to jump back on, this is just something that happens with technical difficulties sometimes. Jess was talking about how many servings that we need a day, which is 7 to 13 for an average sedentary person that doesn't have any ailments or isn't exercising or doing, it's just the average person. So when you think about the athlete or someone who has a compromised immune system or someone who has a history of some genetic predispositions, it's really more like 16 to 20 every day, especially for the athlete. So Jess, I was just jumping in, but feel free to go ahead and then you can come back to me again.
Oh gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Not sure where you lost me, but I lost it on the computer, so I reconnected on my phone. I was just talking about how our produce is jet lagged. Were you hearing that part of my discussion?
Yeah, you had just gotten with the 7 to 13 servings, so that's perfect segue to the jet lagged produce.
Okay, perfect. So I guess I was talking for a while there. Yes, so 7 to 13 servings, and we need the rainbow variety of colors in our diet too. So, if you're like me and you maybe just have 3 or 4 of your favorite veggies that you eat in rotation, and even harder to get more into your kids, we really need that rainbow variety because each of the colors brings different nutrients for us. One of the other challenges that we're facing is that a lot of the produce that's on our shelves and in the stores is just jet lagged. It has been picked long before it was vine ripened, long before it was ripe, and traveled thousands of miles to get to us. So it just doesn't pack the nutritional punch that it once did. You know, nothing like the food that our grandparents used to eat. It's just lost a lot of its nutritional value. So one of the challenges is that toxins are also increasing in our environment. You know, even when we do our best to avoid them, eat organic foods, we're just exposed to so many toxins on a daily basis in our environment, in our food supply, in the things we put on our body. It's really hard to avoid. So our DNA is hit about 10,000 times a day with these oxidants. And even when we do things that we're supposed to do, like exercise puts oxidative stress on your body, and you need to refuel properly to protect your cells. So when it comes to protecting our cells, antioxidants are what we need to protect ourselves. And the best source of antioxidants can be found in fruits and vegetables. So that's why they're so important for us. I love to show this little picture. Hopefully you can see this okay on my screen, but this shows an apple that's been cut in half. And you can see the one half is brown, it's oxidizing, and the other half, it looks fresh. You know how we take a lemon and squeeze it onto an apple, it keeps it fresh, it keeps it from turning brown. It's because of the antioxidants. And it's the same thing with us. If you look at the picture of this woman, we need those antioxidants in our cells to protect us from the inside out. So many people recognize this as a problem, and they realize that we need to do something to kind of bridge the gap in what we're not getting in our diets. And this is where a lot of people will begin to turn to a multivitamin. And multivitamins have really virtually no research done showing that they do anything for us or that they even get into our bodies. A lot of them are not bioavailable. I don't know if anybody else has ever tried something that you take and all you end up with is a really bright yellow urine because it's just going right through your body, isn't absorbing it at all. The other challenge is it's hard to determine, you know, which vitamins and nutrients we're actually deficient in. And you try to take those and isolate them and create these synthetic vitamins that our body really doesn't know how to use. Our bodies were designed to use nutrition from whole food, not isolated, fragmented vitamins. And there's another picture that I just love to show you. And there's a bunch of tiny little words on here that I know you're not going to be able to see and read. But this picture represents, all of these words are all the individual phytonutrients that are found in just one apple. And I know some of you are on the phone and you can't see this visual, but there are thousands of vitamins, minerals, nutrients in one apple. So you can't just isolate a single vitamin and get that into your body. We need it. Our bodies are meant to absorb it in synergy from the whole food. So this is where Juice Plus comes in. So Juice Plus is 30 vine ripened fruits, veggies, and berries. They are raw and they are crushed whole. So we use the skins, peels, core, seeds, the entire fruit and vegetable gets crushed and pulverized and juiced. This is really important because, you know, when you think about the nutrition in a food, a lot of it can be found in the peel. You know, up to 80% of the vitamin C of an orange is actually in the peel. And I don't know about you, but I generally do not eat the peels of my oranges. So this is where, you know, you even get more nutrition using the whole fruit and vegetable versus just eating the insides of it. So these fruits and vegetables are crushed, dehydrated, the water, the sugar, the fiber is removed from it, and then you're left with these beautiful little plant powders. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. I have, we have 3 varieties. There's fruit, vegetable, and berry. So these are the 3 little capsules and what they look like. And then I tried to be real cute here, and I don't know if, we'll try not to spill powder all over my screen, but if you open the capsule up, this is what the powders look like on the inside. So just these beautiful plant powders, the 3 different varieties. And what this is, here's the picture of all the 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries that are in them. And I know, again, that you can't see everything that's on here. I'm going to read it off to you, but what you can see when you look at this is the beautiful rainbow variety. So we have in the fruit blend, apple, cherry, beet, cranberry, date, orange, papaya, peach, pineapple, and prune. And in the vegetable blend, we have beets, broccoli, brown rice, cabbage, carrot, garlic, kale, oat bran, parsley, spinach, tomato. And in the vineyard blend, we have artichoke, bilberry, blackberry, blackcurrant, blueberry, cocoa, Concord grape, cranberry, elderberry, pomegranate, and raspberry. So I don't know about you, but there's so many foods in here that, you know, even on my best days, I just don't get some of these foods into my regular diet. There's things like beets that I know they're really good for me. I try to eat them, I want to like them, and I just don't love them. Bilberry, I don't think I've ever seen a bilberry on the grocery store shelf. So I love that there's so much in here that I would never get into my diet otherwise. This is what, I'm sure what the bottle looks like. So there's 3 different bottles, the fruit, the vegetable, and the berry. This comes with a nutrition label, not a supplement label. So when you look at this, it's just listing, and I know that may be hard to see on my screen, but it's just listing all the fruits and vegetables that are in it. So this is just, if you walked into the grocery store, if this was sold in the grocery store, it would be sold where the produce is sold. This would, you pick up a bag of apples, it says apples on it. So you pick this up, it lists the foods that are in it. So it is not a nutrition label like a multivitamin where you're going to see these isolated vitamins listed. The other thing that I love to point out about this is that it's you can see this top is just a flip top. There is no childproof lock on this because it's food. It's fruits, vegetables, and berries. It is safe for babies from 6 months old up to the elderly, Olympic athletes, and everything in between. So this part is really important, and I'm actually going to ask my friend Andrea to unmute herself, and if she wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about her story right now, because I know this part is very near and dear to her heart. So Andrea, would you share a little bit about your story and why this is so important to you?
Sure, Jess, you're doing an amazing job. And all I can say is that picture you showed of the apple and the woman's face, you have the most beautiful skin. Just knowing that these nutrients are getting into your body, it's radiating through your cells, which you can see on your face. You're the perfect picture of what it looks like to not have that oxidative stress on the outside. So my name's Andrea LaPlante. Thank you for having me on the call tonight. I'm a national marketing director with the Juice Plus company, and I'm also a certified health coach, but I am, even more importantly, a mom of 3 kids, and was raised by a nurse who always talked about prevention. So I really thought I had that piece down. But one day, my 3 kids, my husband's been traveling for a long time, and I was just manning the fort as normal, and my middle guy overdosed on isolated vitamin supplements, which was a huge shock to me because it was recommended by my pediatrician, and I was really going by what my pediatrician recommended. I wasn't eating isolated vitamins myself. They didn't really mix well with me, but I did take the advice of the pediatrician, and I thought that was the right thing to do. So after he overdosed on these vitamins, it was such a wake-up call for me. It was like getting hit in the head with a ton of bricks. It just, I was angry. I was looking for answers. In 2008, there were over 51,000 calls made to poison control centers, and some of those were fatalities. I'm just really lucky that my son's okay. I had no idea that they could be so harmful. And, at that moment, I really started to research, and I started to be my own health advocate, and I really looked into our food supply, and I looked into why people are eating vitamins. And it's not that we have a vitamin deficiency, it's that we have a whole food nutrition deficiency. And I was chopping and slicing on my own and trying to get my kids to eat raw broccoli at breakfast. It was not working. If anybody of you have ever tried to do that, it's really difficult to do it. I just felt like a desperate mom trying to get nutrition into my kids. They're all athletes as well. Our kids all go to school. We want their brains to be working, functioning, and growing and healthy, and we weren't getting it done, and I knew that. So one day I found these plant powders, and I was blown away. The first thing I did was look on the back and saw the nutrition label. Then I looked and saw there was an NSF label, which means a third party actually comes in once these plants are allowed to ripen on the vine, which is what I loved, crushed whole with skins and seeds and peels, like Jess said. The plant powders are dehydrated and tested for herbicides, pesticides, molds, mildews, heavy metals, no child safety lock, no warning labels. And what I loved in addition to that is the research. There was 25 years of research, and it's not to say Juice Plus or fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's just to show that when these plant powders get into your body, they're bioavailable, which means they get absorbed into the bloodstream, they go to work, they work all of your organs efficiently. And I love to say, it's like playing an instrument, having the beautiful music from a flute. and it's a great instrument to listen to, but when you put that together with an orchestra, it really, the synergy of the music creates a masterpiece. And that's really what this does in our body. It's just too difficult for people to do it every day, to get our hands on this nutrition. And then getting it into my family, for me, it was peace of mind. But it's been 7 years now. We've been a family of 5 that have been med-free, no antibiotics, no co-pays, no doctor's visits, only well checks. And it's not to say that you may not come down with something. It's just we've really been able to reverse chronic disease and help protect ourselves and balance our immune system and reduce inflammation with this. So there's a lot of science behind it. And if you like that, we can help share more information. Thank you, Jess.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. You know, I never get tired of hearing your story. It's just so powerful. So thank you for sharing that. And you already touched on what my next point was going to be, which was the 38 clinical studies. So I'm actually going to ask KT to share her story next. So KT, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself and just tell us a little bit about why Juice Plus made sense to you and what your experience has been so far.
Sure. Thank you, Jess. Yeah, so my name is KT Miles. I almost just used my maiden name for some reason. I don't know where that came from. And I got introduced to Juice Plus through Jessica. And the first thing I loved was just the education that Juice Plus provides in terms of just free doctors who come to different locations or go online. I'm an engineer, so I'm very geeky, I like to research everything. So that is just like a huge drive for me, the research and everything. And I originally, like probably most people, started the Juice Plus for my kids. I was, kind of like Jess, I'm not a big supplement person. And I believe, Cody always says, my youngest, if he asks someone, says, what's your mom's favorite food? He literally answers salads. So excuse me. So I definitely felt like I eat healthy enough. So I started it though, because I thought, the kids get it free if I do an adult order, so it can't hurt. So why not just take it? And to be honest, I did not expect anything. I mean, I kind of figured for my kids it'd be great, but for myself, I just was like, yeah, I'm just whatever, And within about 5 months of taking it, I noticed that my recovery was like totally different. And I do a lot of very hard hitting activities. I kickbox and I do a martial art called Krav Maga. So my body is constantly being beaten up. I could show you my wrist today. We escaped from duct tape. But so, I'm constantly just being jolted. And so I was just always sore. Like it wasn't even like an exercise sore. It's just that whole, just imagine someone shaking you every day. And so I just would get out of bed and I looked like my husband's 7 years older than me. He'd be like, who's the old one? Like walking around, making. And I just noticed that my recovery times in terms of being able to pop out of bed, in terms of being able to do back-to-back workouts, like not needing that day or those hours necessarily in between. Not to say I don't still get sore, but it's like a whole different level. And I was really, really surprised to discover that. And nothing else in my diet had changed. So it was definitely a benefit. And then this winter, in terms of my kids, they haven't been homesick. Jake has been homesick once, and that's it. And Cody, I used to send him, and I'm not even exaggerating, with every week his own box of tissues to keep at his own desk, because I thought he maybe had a winter allergy or I don't know what it was. But in December, he would get a runny nose, and it would go till probably about the end of March. And I mean, like just nonstop. Even the teachers were like, can it be this? Can it be that? I mean, I had nurses calling me. I'm like, it's just a nonstop runny nose. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's fine otherwise. And it wasn't till about February that I all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's like, we're not sending Cody with tissues. Like I haven't made a BJ's run for tissues. Like, oh my gosh, she doesn't have a runny nose. So I have definitely seen the improvement in our family's health. And it's just been amazing. So I'm totally glad that I, hopped in with Jessica to do this, and glad to be here to share it with you guys.
Thank you so much, KT, for sharing your story. KT mentioned that children get Juice Plus for free. So if an adult orders Juice Plus, any child between the ages of 4 and college age can get Juice Plus for free up to 4 years. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, my kid can't swallow capsules. It comes in gummy form for children. I'm going to show you what the gummies look like. So these are the gummies. This is the fruit, and this is the veggie. These are the gummies that kids get for free. My little guy loves these, and I will admit that I steal them too. They're a nice little healthy treat and a healthy snack for all of us. So he loves them. My 11-year-old prefers the capsules. He would rather swallow capsules, so that's what he does. But that is free for kids, and so like KT, that's how I came to Juice Plus as well. So I mentioned earlier, my friend Marianne, we were fellow personal trainers at a gym in Massachusetts. And she had, she had tables at the gym a couple times. She talked to me about Juice Plus, and I was just kind of like, yeah, like, I'm all set. We're healthy. I eat well, blah, blah, blah. And it really wasn't until I moved to Georgia, and that following year, my kids were so sick. My little guy especially, he just had these sinus infections and wasn't getting better. And Marianne, the sweet friend that she is, just kept in touch, and she had reached out, and I said, you know what, maybe it's time I give that a try. So we got on board, my whole family, the kids were taking Juice Plus, and without even realizing it, we got healthier. I think time went by, and I was like, oh, like, he's not getting sick anymore, we're doing great. I thought we had it all figured out. I never really linked it to Juice Plus, so we stopped taking it. And that following year was probably the sickest our family has ever been, especially for, again, my little guy, who just struggled from, so we live in Georgia, and everything is in bloom here. It seems like 10 months out of the year. So the allergy season kind of runs from like March to November. And he just struggled. He had these chronic sinus infections that he could not clear. We went through 4 or 5 rounds of antibiotics in a span of 6 months for him that still didn't clear it. He had this cough. My kids had strep twice. We were seeing an ENT and an allergist trying to figure out what was going on. He showed no allergies, but yet they couldn't clear this up. So it was just a mess. And again, Marianne kept in touch, and she was like, how's everybody doing? And I was like, you know what? We weren't having this when we were on Juice Plus. My family is so sick right now. I think we need to get back on. And so from then on, I was a believer once I realized it was how much it had really impacted us. So since we've been back on the products, all 4 of us, it's been like 15 months. None of us, family of 4, have had a sick visit, antibiotics, over-the-counter meds in over a year. My kids missed collectively about 10 days of school just in the first semester alone of the prior school year, so of 2017, and they haven't had sick days in over a year. My little guy is no longer on allergy meds. He hasn't had to use that inhaler that they gave him. He's no longer taking Flonase. I mean, it is just a complete game changer for us. And kind of like KT as well, I did it for the kids and really didn't expect much for myself. And I won't go into it too much detail, but for myself, I found so much better energy. I used to get these, occasional headaches. I'd have to take ibuprofen, and I just thought that was part of being a mom over 40. And what I found is that I don't remember the last time I had to take ibuprofen for anything, whether it was a headache or aches and pains from working out. Like KT, I like to do CrossFit, I play tennis, I'm active 6-7 days a week. And really, like, I feel so good, and I didn't even expect that for myself. So total game changer for my family. And I know we're getting close to that 8:30 mark, so I definitely want to wrap it up soon and be cognizant of everybody's time. I want to show you really quickly just our other products. We have a really simple product line, and that's one of the things I really love about this company. So in addition to the plant powders, we also have an omega, and this is a vegan omega blend. So many of us know the benefits of fish oil, the omegas that are in fish oil. This is a plant-based alternative to fish oil. It comes with a full spectrum of omegas, the 3, 5, 6, 7, 9 that are found in plants. We go straight to the algae that the fish eat. So we get the omegas straight from the algae, along with sea buckthorn berry and pomegranate and some other wonderful plant oils. It looks like, I'm going to show you the capsule. It's like a little capsule, little gel cap. This is vegan right down to the capsule it's in. The capsule itself is made of tapioca starch. So if you're anyone who has ever struggled to swallow fish oil pills, I know I have. I know my 11-year-old has autism and ADHD, and I tried for years to get him to swallow fish oil capsules, thinking they would be really beneficial to him, and he complained of the taste, the fish burps, and I can't really blame him. He swallows these without complaint. Kids who can't swallow them, or even adults who don't like to swallow them, can snip off the top and just swallow the oil from the inside. It has kind of an orangey flavor to it, so much more pleasant than fish oil, and much more sustainable and much cleaner, because we know that our oceans are not so clean anymore. So that's our one other product. And then we have a vegan shake. So we have a plant-based protein powder. It's called Complete. I love this. It comes in chocolate and vanilla. It's made from 15 different plants. There's awesome ancient grains in here like spirulina. There's yucca powder, wonderful foods, again, that I don't get in my diet on a regular basis. The thing that I really love about this too is that it has 8 grams of fiber in it. And a lot of times when you turn to protein powders, that they're simply that, they're just protein. So this is a complete powder. It has fiber, which is so important for us. And because it's all plant-based, it's dairy-free. Again, so many on the shelves are whey-based, and whey causes a lot of issues for many people. So this is a wonderful product. And then finally, we have our wonderful tower gardens. I wish I could show you mine, but I just took out all the winter plants and getting ready for spring planting. But I'll show you a quick picture of what they look like. It's a vertical gardening system. So if you're somebody who likes to grow your own food, this is amazing. We have a call tomorrow night where you can learn about them. This is what it looks like. You can grow 20 plants in this little 3-foot space in this tower. And if you are interested in learning more about that, we can let you know about a call we have tomorrow at 8 o'clock that you can join in. We'll be talking about tower gardens exclusively, and they are amazing. So that is it for our product line. So I will just wrap it up by letting you know that if this speaks to you, if this plant powder, this nutrition is something that really makes sense to you, we have 3 different ways for you to get started. The first is that you can become a customer. We'll take great care of you. We have a customer community on Facebook where we share recipes and wellness tips and exercise ideas and all different ways you can use your plant powders. So we would love to take care of you as a customer. If you would like to take advantage of our distributor pricing, we also have a program called the Healthy Living Plan. So if your wheels are turning and you're already thinking of 2 or 3 people who could benefit from this, if you sign up and help 2 or 3 other families get started, you get a bonus check and you get distributor pricing for yourself. Or if this message is really speaking to you and this mission of inspiring healthy living really resonates with you, then we would love to link arms with you and have you join our mission and create some income along with this and be a part of our community. So if any of that resonates with you and you'd like to learn more, you can get with the person who invited you to this call. And with that, I guess we can stop the recording and we can go ahead and open it up to see if anybody has any questions.